Okay, so the Raptors and Knicks have played about 6 games each since the trade, and I would have to guess that both sides are feeling pretty good about it so far. OG, all the lineups with him in the game for the Knicks have been fantastic, and I think Quickly and RJ have both looked pretty damn good so far with the Raptors, so let's talk about it all. And real quick, Malachi Flynn has not played much, and Precious has already been a bit of an adventure, which, yeah, that's the Precious Achua experience. Anyway, let's talk about OG. So, the Knicks are 5-1 with OG. They do play tonight if they end up losing, my bad. And when OG has been on the court, the Knicks have had a 97 defensive rating, which is an insane number that long-term will normalize, but it does suggest that, yes, this team is way better on defense. When you look at his defensive assignments, I don't think it should be too shocking. I mean, in his last one, he was on Kyrie a lot of the time. Against Philly, he was on Maxey. Against the Blazers, he was on Jeremy Grant, although he also had some possessions on, like, Simons or Shaedon Sharpe a little bit. We saw in the Bulls game, he was on DeRozan a lot. And the thing with these games is, like, if you want to look at those guys' stats, yeah, a lot of them had big games. Like DeRozan was like 10 for 13 from the field. Kyrie had 44. Maxey had like 20-something on okay, but not amazing efficiency. And yet, a lot of the time, the baskets that the guys are getting are not actually on OG. Like Kyrie was the one who recently made the most shots over OG. Like in the Bulls game, most of DeMar's buckets are on Josh Hart or McBride. DeMar does get OG on like 2. One of them is a 3 where OG's contest is fine. Another one is a pick and roll play where OG, he gets around the screen eventually, but it's a little slower than he normally would, so DeMar gets a pull-up too. In the Philly game with Maxey, like there's one play where Maxey hits OG with a crossover, and OG still does a good job contesting him, but he does get him on that one. But that Philly game did feature a lot of plays where I thought OG's screen navigation on Maxey, like chasing him around screens and stuff, or just fighting around stuff, was able to really slow down Philly's offense. Kyrie definitely made some tough shots over OG, no doubt about it. But OG also pulled off some good defensive plays on Kyrie where it's like Kyrie's trying to get a Brunson switch and then Brunson hedges and then OG's chasing Kyrie from behind, contests him, and it's like an airball 3. Or like late in the game, the Knicks started doubling Kyrie and they almost stole the game at the end, and OG's part of that. Although the dagger was off of one of those doubles where Josh Green made it, but before that they were able to get some turnovers out of the Mavs. There was one play in the Bulls game where like he ends up switching to Andre Drummond and he's like getting real physical with him around the rim, so it's not just like an easy roll for him. And then it was Caruso driving and OG contested him at the rim as if he was like a center basically. Like one time where he was one-on-one with Joel at the free throw line and he guarded him really well. A number of plays in like the Bulls game late where it's like OG and Hartenstein putting 2 to DeRozan and somebody's got to close out to Patrick Williams and they're doing that well. His screen navigation has been good, just chasing guys. Hartenstein has been in either a high drop or occasionally putting 2 on the ball like in the Kyrie game, or he's just been in a typical drop, and Hartenstein has just been like kind of amazing if we're being honest based on the temperature after Mitch went down. And it's wild how the Knicks rebounding did not fall off a cliff once Mitch went down, and you definitely have to give Hartenstein a lot of credit there. It does feel like the Knicks have also slowly allowed Hartenstein to get a little more of what he truly wants to do deep down, which is be a bit of a hub on offense. Like he's had some more plays where he'll have it at the top of the key and like Deuce McBride is cutting off of that or whatever, and that's everybody. I mean, Quentin Grimes has been looking more confident everywhere since the move happened. DiVincenzo remains solid as ever. But if we can talk about OG's offense for a bit. So one thing when the trade went down is I was interested to see. So what is OG's shot attempts going to look like compared to RJ? He's shooting the ball way less. Okay, he's got the ball less. He shoots it less. It's corner threes. It's cuts. It's transition. It's the occasional catch and drive or catch and make the next play for somebody. It does feel like he's been getting his screening on the ball more than I probably would have expected. Not to say that he's like screening every single possession, but it's nice to see. And I think it's the ideal thing for this Knicks offense because now what you're seeing is it's more Brunson and Randall. It's more Quentin Grimes, who, again, has been looking confident. And not to say that Grimes is playing like 28 minutes a game and taking a million shots, but you can see in some of these threes that Grimes has taken where like there's a little bit of like pull-up stuff in transition or like one dribble pull-ups off of just, pump fake and then my defender closed out on me, I got away from him, whatever. I think we've seen a better version of Deuce McBride recently as well. With DiVincenzo, who remains solid as ever, the 3 ball's been like kind of insane with him. The thing I like about DiVincenzo the most is that work off of screens and catch it on the move and then get up into his shot immediately, or he can handle it in transition, or he can attack like on a pick and roll if a play dies down occasionally. Like you're not asking DiVincenzo to run your offense or anything close to it, but if you need him to handle the ball, he can do better than your average role player who takes a lot of threes, right? And I mentioned Randall. The biggest thing with Randall to me this year, man, is he's just getting to the rim more often. I mean, all of his rim percentage stuff is up. He's going at Grant Williams, whether it's a make or a miss, and he's just being kind of ruthless, getting into his spin mover and everything. I mean, a couple of his buckets in the Wizards game are like going at Kuzma in the post, being real physical, or like Hartenstein, Randall, Horns action, where Brunson eventually throws it back to Randall top of the key, then he's driving on Denny. And that's just the biggest thing with Randall to me, man. It's like, can you get enough plays where it doesn't fall into dribble, 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 fade away jump shot. And of course, Brunson is great. You don't need me to tell you that one. Now, if we can go on to the Raptors, let's start with RJ. And of course, I have used the word inconsistent with RJ many times, and I would love nothing more than for him to be able to completely shed that label. And so far in Toronto, it's been good. The threes have been going in. That's huge for him. And it does feel like they've been giving him room to operate with an empty corner more than it was happening with the Knicks, where we've got like a DHO empty corner with Pirtle to where he can catch it on the move, and then he's got like Kevon Looney in a high drop, and then RJ hits him with like a hesitation dribble, which gets Looney off balance a little bit, and then he kind of hits him with a shoulder a bit, and then he finishes over him. That's the best version of RJ. I mean, in the Kings game, he's got a play where he gets good position on Malik Monk, like within the three-point line. They throw it right to him. He's got the entire side of the floor to operate, goes baseline, drives on him, just, physical advantage, right? We've also seen some pick and rolls where they'll have like Gary Trent as the second screener, as like Jonte Porter or Pirtle or the guys there, or maybe Boucher or whatever. Because I think with RJ, like if you just give RJ a million simple pick and rolls up top, I don't know if you're going to love the results, but if you just allow him to have something a little different, empty side, extra screeners in the play to where you're giving him more options, especially if one of them's a shooter, then you're helping him out. As for Quickly is flowing off of so many off-ball screens, man. I mean, all the down screens I mentioned for RJ, that's happening with Quickly as well. We've got Quickly setting ghost screens for Scotty. We have Scotty screening for Quickly. We've got like Schroeder ghost screening for Quickly. We've got Quickly's pull-up threes or pull-up twos off of pick and rolls or DHOs or whatever. Like, it looks exactly as I envisioned it with Quickly in Toronto. We've seen the occasional like Scotty skip passes to Quickly or whatever on when Scotty's doing his thing, of course. And of course, these actions are not always just leading to him getting his own shots, but also making plays for other guys. The assist to turnover stuff has been great so far for Quickly in Toronto. So yeah, I think both sides are feeling good. As far as the bigger picture stuff with the Raptors, I mean, I've talked about the Siakam rumors. Everybody knows the Siakam rumors are out there, so we're just kind of waiting until then, assuming it does happen. Besides that, look, we all love Scotty. He's great. He's the long-term guy. Grady Dick has given them kind of nothing as the 13th pick so far, and obviously you don't give up on him or anything like that, but you were hoping that it would have gone a little better than it has so far. The other thing too is that their pick is top 6 protected from the Pirtle trade, and so we'll just see. I mean, obviously this comes down to the lottery, but if you just want to look at regular season standings, there's a number of teams that are way worse than them.